everyone. This is tragic. So, this is my second attempt tonight to kick up a live stream because my computer likes to be stupid. I often find myself awake at midnight for the sheer fact that I can't sleep and my brain works better at night. So, what I'm probably going to start doing is I'm going to do live streams while I do my homework, which should allow me to actually update you guys on my life and allow me to get work done, because I can just ramble while I do homework. And we'll have lots of really cool discussions on stuff that we're learning about in my class. And since I'm taking a class on the Bible and how the Bible affects people's concepts of specifically the modern views of gender and biology, the class is called Bible, Sex, and Sexuality. I don't know why I'm censoring myself. This entire conversation is going to be rated R. I should probably put that in settings. I'm going to try and keep this kosher. There's some weird stuff on YouTube. Hold on. We're being activated. Gotta die up there, Marty. Sorry, had to quick cut you. So, tonight, I'm reading Knust. For the class, we're reading about Knust, which is a strange person. She's not a strange person. It's strange flesh is what we're reading about. Her name is... Not that. Her name is not cooperating with me because my computer has decided to freeze up. Because I have an active encoder. Oh my god. My laptop is being stupid right now. Hello, Marty. Hooey, Rick. Okay. I don't know how to make it go landscape because when I was in settings trying to make it happen, it wasn't happening. So, yes, you're on my phone. No one's watching because it's midnight. 45, and everyone reasonably here, Marty. It's a very bad connection. I don't know why. It's a perfectly good connection. I don't know why it's being funny. She's cute, that's why. But, I need to get like selfies or I'm sick. Clearly. Anyway, we are reading about one Miss Knust. One of the main... We don't have textbooks, she just posts the readings on the school site, which is cool, because she's super nice, and that's one less textbook I have to buy with money that I don't have. I'm trying to see if she put her name anywhere. No, she didn't. Just the title of the chapter. Her last name's Knust. I need to know her first name for my paper. What she does is what my professor does is she assigns a reading, unprotected texts. She assigns a reading, and then in order to make sure we read the reading so that we can have this discussion, Jennifer Knust. She has us write response papers that are like, what are the main examples used, and then what are your thoughts on it? Which leads to a very sarcastic commentary on my part. And honestly, I haven't looked at the grades she's put in for my responses because I'm more concerned with getting the assignments done than how I did on them. Like, I put effort into them, but after they're turned in, that's one thing off my plate that I'm not going to worry about because I stress enough as it is. Anyway, so I just have this really snarky commentary on stuff. But Jennifer Knust wrote a book, not Kunst, Knust, called Strange Flesh, and it's about the Bible and how people's ideas of things are in the Bible. And this chapter that I'm reading tonight, which was due today, I was sick, so if you're seeing this, Dr. Hornsby, I'm sorry. That's the honest truth. I was incredibly sick. You know this, I emailed you. Always email your professors when you're sick. Just be honest. Just be straight up. I'm dying. I'm sorry. Really. And then, just don't skip class. That's a big one. Because if they know you put in the effort and you don't like to skip class and you actually care about their class, they're going to believe you a whole lot more when you don't show up to class for 2 days in a row because you're sick in bed dying of a fever and you don't have medicine because you're a college student and you're poor. Be a good student when you need to be a bad student. People will be nice to you. Anyway, Strange Flush is about relations, like Israelite relations with non-Israelites, meaning specifically angels and foreigners, particularly foreign women. I'm not going to read you guys excerpts from this. She talks about forbidden sex a lot. And breaking the rules of what's forbidden. So that goes in. What I do is while I'm reading it, I write. So like every paragraph I read, I have at least one sentence for it. Usually there's enough interesting facts in a paragraph for me to write 2 or 3 sentences about it. So I end up with like 3-page papers for 16-page chapters. Broke these boundaries. I always like to tie in stuff we've talked about in past classes. Whenever it's something that we've discussed previously that's being mentioned again, I like to just tie it in. I like to just loop it all together. That's a fun thing. Pay attention in class. Pay attention and pick something that's interesting, and then as the class goes on, keep tying that back in. Pay attention to the things that interest you and how they interact with one another, and you'll be a good student. You'll have a GPA. You will have a GPA like me. Let's go find out what my GPA is real quick. Let's go on an adventure. I think it should be on the school site. We have 2 school sites because we went from Blackboard to Moodle. We shouldn't have. It was one of those upgrade, no wait, go back meme moments. Student. Course schedule, registration, GPA projection. Let's try the transcript. Okay. I think I have okay, I think I have 43 credits. I think I have 43 credits. No, I have 53 earned credits. I don't know. My GPA is 3.6. It's gone down 2 points. It went down 0.2 points. I went from a 3.8 to a 3.6, and that's because I spent half a semester freaking out in a pottery class. I guarantee it. But, I mean, look at this. The lowest grade I've gotten since I came to this school was a C. And that was in my theater practicum class because I didn't log enough hours in theater practicum. And I know that. I do. So now that we know what my GPA is, I know how much effort to put into this because I'm awful. I'm awful. No, I'm not live now. Oh, I am live now. Oh, hey, that's me. That's me. It says live now because this is a live stream. But, damn it, Janet. Are we still in space? No, this is very different. This is a very different thing. Bam. No, wrong. Go back. I want you to want me. I need you to need me. I love you to love me. Beg you to beg me. Oh, it was the same. Okay. I listen to deep sleep music 24/7, fall asleep fast, relaxing music, sleep music, best insomnia when I do my homework. Because it's super nice. It's really great 7th chakra chill music. Being my indie girl self in my weird tapestry bed. My bed is boss. Okay, I have like stuff on the ceiling and curtains and a fancy chandelier and stuff. I'm cool. I'm a nerd, but I'm cool. I also had a nosebleed today. Not fun. I also had a nosebleed on Easter, on April Fool's Day, which was fun. It's fun. Okay, so strange flesh. Of are punished. What they deserve. I'm quoting someone. Why are you? There's not a very bad connection. There's perfectly fine. Is it the angle cord that you don't like? Is there something not fun about my? Okay. Okay. Tying in things that we've already talked about. Legally speaking, death penalty. David and Bathsheba, totally adultery, but not condemned in the Bible. It was fine. Incest goes unpunished, which is great. Homosexuality between David and Jonathan led to David being elevated to the throne. So that's a fact you can't deny. Sex with angels is condemnable, and sex with foreign women is condemnable, and yet people in the Bible still did it. Because as usual, humans can't follow the rules, no matter what God says. Elohim places way too much faith in his last creation. I certainly don't place that much faith in us. But you know what? I'm not God, so maybe that's my failing. Maybe that's his virtue. I don't know. I need to include these thoughts and commentaries. Some of them. The rules against adultery in and their consequential exceptions and breakings extend to these particular laws as well. And yes, I do say my essays out loud. It's nice to hear it. It's nice to hear it as someone who's a very auditory person. Hearing it and speaking it helps. Find out the way that you best learn and you best feel and internalize and accept that knowledge, as opposed to just memorizing it, and utilize it. If writing it out manually helps, do that. If saying it out loud helps, do that. If hearing it helps, do that. If reading it helps, do that. Do what best works for you in order to facilitate you learning in your best possible self. Live your best life now. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. New Year's is past. There's no time for New Year's resolutions. It's April. It's April and I haven't posted since January. February. I did post on Valentine's Day. Okay. Moving on. The sons of God and the daughters of men. Okay, going way back to Genesis before Noah's flood. Which leads to people having shorter lives than the 500 years we see pretty early on in the Bible. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense. Warriors of renown, divine human hybrids, sons of God, humans of men, divine, like heroes, like Hercules. And Aristotle. No, wait, Achilles. Forgetting my Greek mythology here for a second, and my Greek history. This is fine. Nephilim, the unholy children of angels and humans. I know that because of Supernatural, the TV show. Frightening giants. So Jotuns, to tie in another mythology. What I really appreciate is that whenever she talks about God, she uses all of the different names referred to in the Old Testament. She uses Yahweh, respecting Jewish traditions, Elohim, and God. So we get like the full spectrum of the three aspects, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Which is why he sent the flood and only saved Noah. Okay, that makes a lot more sense than humans were so gross he decided to kill all of them. It makes a lot more sense that he was wiping out the unholy spawn of the divine immortal. Sorry, I get weird. That was funny though. Nephilim, but spared Noah, which is news to me. It's interesting because I browsed the Bible. In my house, we didn't really, read the Bible together. Excerpts were read at times, but I never really understood anything what was happening. We were free-range Christians. we were like relational Christians, I guess. We had a relationship with God and with Jesus Christ that we kept in our hearts. We prayed before meals and we prayed before bed. Sometimes we went to church on special occasions, but at one point we moved because we were overseas all the time. We moved somewhere where we didn't find a church that we clicked really well with, and we did not have a good church-to-person relationship, so it kind of died. But we still it was almost Lutheran, where it was like we didn't go to church. We just kind of had our relationship with God. I didn't read the Bible because I was busy with my education. But now that I'm actually reading the Bible and analyzing it for this class, a lot of what I'm reading is not what I was told. Like, I was told that God destroyed the earth because humans were... Like God sent the flood, but saved Noah because Noah was a good man and he walked with God, and the rest of humanity were vice and disgusting and evil, cruel people who liked killing things. And I was like, so there's a flood a-coming. But, according to this passage, and I have my Bible, it's on my desk right now, but I'm not going to go get it because I hurt. And I have the passage right in front of me, and there's Bibles online you can get. You don't need the holy book in your hand to be able to read it. It's actually, he destroyed the earth because there were inappropriate mergings between angels and humans, which is not what you're told in Sunday school. I think I'm about to have a nosebleed. We'll see. If I do, I'll turn off the camera. Maybe. But let's continue. All humanity preserving only Noah. I will blot out from the earth the human beings I have created, for I am sorry that I have made them. I feel like a lot of parents feel that way about their children at least one point in their time. Since all human flesh had corrupted its way upon the earth. Oh, great. So one group of people got messy and the rest of us get to be punished. That also sounds a lot like humans. I will never again curse the ground because of humankind and rainbow. Whatever the story may be. Okay. Humans to later Christians and Jewish peoples. Jews. I don't like saying that because I know it's disrespectful. Some people are insulted by it, some people are not. I have Jewish friends who are not bothered by being called Jews. I know a lot of Jewish people who are bothered by being called Jews, but I can't call them Israelites because technically Christians are Israelites, but no one's really Israelites anymore except for Israeli people, and even they don't like being called Israelites because a lot of them are like actually Palestinian and some of them are Muslim, and I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. But they perceived it as being human-angel relations. And Genesis 6 expanded upon it. So this is angels' faults? Okay. As having further explored this concept, Genesis, because I can't spell at 1 a.m. That's the wrong tab. First Enoch. This is also news to me. And she introduces patriarch. A biblical patriarch. I'm guessing that means he was like a leader. Maybe he was a judge. Several books in antiquity. Another man who walked with God. Further proof that God had legs. I have this argument in class with people where we get talking about it, and I'm like, in the Bible, there are people described as walking with God, which means at one point God had a corporeal form which he utilized on this earth, and then he stopped utilizing it, probably because people started getting weird. I mean, if they wanted to have sex with angels, who knows who they wanted to have sex with? Am I right, ladies? That was inappropriate. Point being. Twitter announcement just went out that this thing is happening, so maybe we'll get some interaction and I can offend someone. Sorry. Walked with God and was no more because God took him. Great. So he's a bit like Paul then, who was just kind of gifted with knowledge. That's fun. I've heard the name Enoch before. I feel like it's used in a lot of fantasy stories because of the Bible. Book of the Watchers. Before Daniel. Ooh, with the Dead Sea Scrolls. That'll be something that she's going to want me to mention. Some of his works, not all of it. Dead Sea Scrolls. Wait, was it Daniel or David? Daniel. I get the distinct impression that if I actually showed any of my papers to any, actual members of the clergy or anything, I'd get read for filth. But, it's just the vernacular I use. I could be all stuffy and use, like, super sophisticated philosophical stuff, but, no. In one book known as First Enoch, amongst wrestling popularity, ancient Jewish writings. Wabad. Okay. Okay. New Testament, Jude. False Christian teachers. Enoch predicted what would come. Jude cites Enoch. Acting falsely. Ooh. This isn't very entertaining for y'all. If this were a discussion, it would be more entertaining, but there's no one here with me right now. You're watching this after it. You're watching this retrospectively. I don't know anyone who has an hour, who watches my channel, who just has an hour to sit and watch me do my homework. But, there are people out there who get paid to eat food on camera, so. If you have time to watch 14 Vine compilation videos, you got time to watch me. It was also about these false teachers that Enoch in the 7th generation from Adam prophesied, saying, "See, the Lord is coming with 10,000s of his holy ones to execute judgment on all and to convict everyone of all the deeds of ungodliness that they have committed in such an ungodly way, and of all the harsh things that ungodly sinners have spoken against him." Jude 14:15, 1 Enoch 1:9. Long-winded bunch, weren't they? Source of prophecy. Something that's interesting to me is that with all the people in the Bible who they cite as prophets, they're just as quickly to say that the Greek priests and prophets from Delphi are heretics and liars and witches and things like that. The lines between magic and miracles in the Bible have always confused me, and what I'm starting to realize is that line is drawn straight down the middle when it comes to Christianity, or like religion, when it pertains to God, Allah, not Allah. Allah is Islam. It's that late at night. Elohim, Yahweh, God, whatever you want to call him. Any one of the three names work. It's the same guy. When you're talking about him, anything that happens in his name by his decree is okay. Literally anything else is unholy and you shall be punished for it. And it's like, there's no wiggle room. There's no wiggle room, which is also something we read about how magic has its niche in cultures, and outside of that niche, it is forbidden and disgusting and wrong. I don't remember what that one was called. Something about ritual. And it didn't call it magic, it called it ritual, which is true. Just things you notice. Okay, In other words, book also knows book Jews protected the sea scroll so information about how to understand secrets. There's some God who listed. Aha! Enoch details. Excuse me. Okay. Beware of the watchers. I love Knust in the way she writes because she incorporates Bible text and information with really catchy phrases. There are some other texts that we're reading that I like a little bit more just because they're a little more contemporary and a little more accessible, but I like Knust. Weapons of war, jewelry and cosmetics, and magical arts. Okay, see? Magic. Here it is. So it's these watchers. I'm putting them in quotes there because it's literally, quote, watchers. So these watchers are the ones to blame for everything wrong with humanity. The wicked angel Azazel. I need a new glasses prescription. Azazel taught men to make swords of iron and breastplates of bronze and every weapon for war. He instructed them about antimony and eyeshadow and all manner of precious stones and about dyes and a variety of adornments. Semhazah, the angel, taught spellbinding and the cutting of roots. Hermione, the angel, it's a little bit close to home. Hermione, the angel, taught the loosing of spells, magic, sorcery, and sophistry. That's very close to home. Hello, J.K. Rowling. Then the giants began to devour the flesh of men. Well, that escalated quickly. One second it's time for school, and the next second there are people getting eaten. Which is kind of what happens at Hogwarts. Moving on. War, greed, pride, sorcery, false wisdom, and cannibalism. Great. Detailing how a variety of angels what was the other one? What was that last one? Cannibalism. What really confuses me is that witch is a single word and craft is a single word, but witchcraft is one word. And, like, it's an independent thing of its own, but, like, it's not two separate words. It's not a witch's craft. It's not the craft of the witches. It's witchcraft. Like, it's its own contraction, but it literally means the sum of the two words, which isn't usually what it is with words. That word just confuses me because it's like it spell checks me, and I'm like, spell check because it's witchcraft. It's funny. It. Humanities. Evil. Okay. I always get confused with the I, E, S, and Y alternatives. God doesn't like it, so he sends Michael, Sariel, Raphael, and Gabriel. No, Michael, Sariel, Raphael, and Gabriel went to God and went, "This is a mess. You've got to do something about this. This is not nice." And God goes, "Okay." Like, literally, "I shall destroy all the spirits of the," naughty word, "offspring of the watchers because they wrong mankind. I shall destroy all iniquity from upon the face of the earth, and every evil work shall come to an end." currently wearing jewelry. And the whole earth shall be freed from all defilement and from all uncleanness and wrath and castigation. You missed a spot. You missed a spot. It's called Earth. You missed a spot, Dad. Each of the 4 righteous angels on a cleansing mission. Okay, that's Michael, Sariel, Raphael, and Gabriel. That's funny. I thought Uriel was the 4th archangel. Sariel. That's a new one. I haven't heard that name before. I know a lot of archangel names. I know a lot of angel names. But I hadn't heard Sariel before. Okay, Michael put the angels in a pit. Sariel was the one who told Noah about the flood. Raphael imprisoned the watchers, Azael. Immolate. I don't know what that word means. Immolate. Immolate. Oh. Okay. So arson for people. Okay. Michael, Gabriel, my new best friend, Sariel, Raphael, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo. I'm sorry, I love my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Michael, Sariel, Raphael, Gabriel. They all end in ales or eels. Is that like a thing? Why is that a thing? And then down here, okay, based on the way all these other names are like Raphael, Azael, Gabriel, Sariel, is Michael supposed to be Michael or Michael? The only other answer here is that it's supposed to be Raffle. Michael and Raffle. Or Raphael and Michael. Michael sounds so much more like an angel name than Michael. Michael. And that's so pretty. Michael. 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 Mikey. Mike. Michael. Michael sounds so much prettier to me. I'm gonna start saying that now. Michael. I'm gonna make a whole bunch of people angry. And like, I know people named Michael, and I'm gonna be like, Michael, hi. And they'll be like, you what? Okay, they imprisoned the angels, killed off the Nephilim. What did Sariel do? What was Sariel's special job? Warned Noah of the flood and locked up Azael. Being sassy. Sorry, I had to add sassy commentary, otherwise it wouldn't have been my essay and she'd have thought I plagiarized it. I'm joking. Plagiarism is very bad and you should never do it. And I'm not joking. Plagiarism will ruin your life. And someone else's as well, I'm sure. It's Jubilees. Fallen angels are bound underground, awaiting immolation in a fiery abyss. Quote Jennifer Knust. First Sibylline Oracle. We talked about that one previously. Taught astrology and magic. What's your star sign? Oh great, so I can blame the angels for terrible pickup lines as well. Specifically the fallen angels here. I'm sure Mikhail isn't to blame for men asking what my sign is and then freaking out when I tell him I'm a Cancer. So astrology ruined your life. Naphtali. Okay, Jubilees, Naphtali, and the Sibylline Oracle. Typity type. I type really loud. People are very concerned by it. One of my friends, the first time he met me, I whipped out my laptop and had to do a whole bunch of emails and information I had to send. And he just kind of sat there staring at me as like my fingers hummed over the board, and he was really freaked out by it. And I don't know if it was the aggressiveness of which I hit the keys or how fast I was going. Probably the aggressiveness with which I hit the keys, knowing him, because he moves fast. That sounded weird. But he does. He's a fast boy. Okay, apparently the Jubilees were sex-crazed folk. And by that I mean they were very specific about the sexual aspect of the sins of the fallen angels. So because everything was messed up, everything was evil. Baruch. Okay. Sex with angels leads inexorably to divine punishment. I know it's important because my professor underlined it before she scanned and uploaded the pages. To angels, their human consorts and their monstrous offspring had to be wiped out or imprisoned. Quote Jennifer Knust. Okay. Except one German poet. Basquiat. I can't spell. It's 1:30 in the morning. On account of the angels. Paul is back. We talk a lot about Paul in this class. Corinthians, too. There's a lot of Corinthians happening. Which, and a lot of people don't know this, Paul is writing letters to the people, to the Christians of Corinth. That's what he's doing. That's why it's called Corinthians. He's writing letters to the Christians of Corinth and trying to get the Israeli Christians and the Greek Christians to stop fighting with each other. That's what he's doing. That's everything that he's doing. He's like, y'all, it's the same religion. It's the same religion. You don't need to be arguing. It doesn't, chill. Oh, so he's to blame for the nuns. Okay. I'm about to read you something. Paul introduces a surprising principle. Women ought to wear a veil on their head on account of the angels. 11:10. Paul, Corinthians. Jennifer Knust. You gonna come to me and say that it's bad for Muslim women to wear scarves and wear their hijabs and burqas and other head adornments when the Bible says to do the same thing? Check your lipstick before you come for me. Check your Bible before you come for other religions, especially when they're technically the same God. I know they're not, but technically, yeah. Technically. I mean, really? No, but technically. Like how I'm technically a brunette even though I have yellow hair. Not by choice. I don't like my hair right now. I wish I could dye, but I don't have the money for that. I mean, I have the money, but I'm saving money to pay off student loans because I'm a good child. But I'm trying. That's what matters. Precisely what Paul could mean. Paul was highly concerned, both the problem of desire and the strict observance of gender roles. Paul liked his gender roles, we know this. Celibacy was ideal, marriage was for the weak, and sex outside of marriage was deserving of death. Let's take oh, I can't say that. I was gonna say something, and then I realized I can't say that because it's a really sensitive political issue, so I'm just gonna stay in my lane and hold my tongue. Okay. Natural hierarchy of man and woman, typical. Clothing, hairstyle, appearance, of course. Man is the source and head of women because she was made of Adam's rib. Man is the image of God, woman is the image of man. Okay. He's losing me here. It's talking about how Paul argues that women should cover their hair when they're worshiping God because it's inappropriate. To avoid disgrace, protect themselves from I don't see what hair has to do with angels. Maybe that's just me, because like I'm not looking at the text, I'm looking at her talking about the text. Okay. Angels desire human women. That's fun. That's flattering. I'm feeling fun, flirtatious, and flirty. Christians in Corinth spoke angelic languages. Glossolalia? The scan isn't very good. When praying and prophesying, okay, so it was like speaking Latin in church, it was a holy language. Or Enochian. Supernatural again. Glossolalia? I think it's glossolalia. Breach between earth and heaven. Testaments of Job. Same time as Corinthians. Job's daughters are given a special gift by their father, miraculous sashes that enable them to speak in a heavenly dialect. Magic again. Except it's God, so it's a miracle. When one daughter called Hemera arose, she wrapped her own string just as her father said, and she took on another heart. No longer minded toward earthly things, she spoke ecstatically in the angelic dialect, sending up a hymn to God in accord with the hymnic style of the angels, and as she spoke ecstatically, she allowed the Spirit to be inscribed on her garment. I heard there was a secret chord that Gabriel played, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? It's the room. It's Gabriel, right? Gabriel. Raphael. Michael. I love that so much. I feel like I just cracked the code. Okay. Writing to Corinth, as usual, about women covering their heads to protect against angels. Glossolalia? Glossolalia. There's a G in there. Okay. Glossolalia. Right. Glossolalia. This is how we do. Do. This is how we do. See, even my laptop wants to correct Sariel to Uriel, so I'm wondering if Sariel is an alternate name for Uriel. So I'm gonna have to look it up. Let's go on an adventure. Take even longer to do my homework. Sariel. Aramaic. Greek. Coptic. Bleh. Prince of God, or God's Prince, is an angel, mainly from Judaic tradition. Other possible versions of his name are Suriel, in some Dead Sea Scroll translation, these are all spellings. Sariel, Soriel, Surya, Sarakael, Sarikiel, Suruel, Surufel, and Sauraya. Meanwhile, Uriel is one of the archangels in the post-exilic rabbinic tradition. I don't know why the Lucifer wiki popped up. Oh, the TV show Lucifer. Okay. The TV show Lucifer. I was very confused. But, no. That's fine. They are not the same person, apparently, and Uriel comes in and replaces Sariel, question mark? Hey, you Christians who know things, come for me, please. I don't have lipstick on. Come check me. Jobs, 2 other daughters who also don the sashes, given them, and they too are able to speak in languages of heavenly beings. Glossolalia. So fancy. Okay. Speaking in tongues. That's where that comes from. Okay, I get that being able to speak angelic language draws attention from angels, so they might take interest in women, but I don't understand how covering your head stops that. Okay, I don't understand why praying with your head uncovered is shameful, though. Like, part of his argument is that praying with your head uncovered is shameful. But what's the other half of his argument? Okay. Because that'll help. Yeah. I'm gonna cover my head. And I mean, like, maybe if everyone wore a head covering while they were singing or while they were praying, the angels wouldn't know which one were women and so could not be tempted. But, like, even just the women covering their heads is still, like, you know which ones are the women. You know where to aim. Shoot, as it were. Shoot your shot, boy. You gon' get her. Hey, girl, what's your sign? Layers. 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 There's... Okay. I make really, like, highbrow academic jokes and no one knows what I'm doing. And I'm like... Second century North African Christian Tertullian. Therefore, a face which is so dangerous and which has cast sandals from here to heaven ought to be shaded. So much more the virgins ought to be veiled on account of the angels, as the sin of the angels would have been greater on account of them being virgins. But a man may not veil his head, because it was not on account of him that the angels deviated. Are women getting blamed for this again? Okay, Eve, how you doing, girl? Been a couple centuries, welcome back to the party. Dang. Cast scandals, not cast sandals, cast scandals. So women are the ones tempting the angels. So, as usual, it's the women's fault, even though everyone else are the ones who did everything wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? There it is. Sodom and Gomorrah. We were just talking about this in class because the crimes of Sodom were actually the people were trying to go after some angels. It's weird. And, well, we actually look at what the crimes of Sodom were listed as. The story doesn't really talk about Gomorrah as much. It's just mentioned that it also was destroyed at the same time. And I wonder if that was like an approximation. Oops. That's my bad kind of a situation, or if that was you're just as bad, you're gonna get it as well. But Lot and his family just so happened to live in Sodom. But Sodom and Gomorrah are making their reprise. Reprise Sodom and Gomorrah, please. Okay, how do you spell that guy's name again? Tertullian. Tertullian. Sodom and Gomorrah. Again. I think it's interesting that one of the coolest superheroes in Marvel is named after a city that was destroyed by God. To be fair, she's a green alien, but, like, rude. As early Christians knew, there was another frightening example of near-human angel sexual congress in the Bible, and it too had devastating results. This is the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't know why, but that turned into, like, special victims unit real quick. Because, like, to be fair, very special victims. Very special victims. Although the seldom episode is rarely read this way today, New Christian and early Testament authors, the sin of Sodom was horrific, not because the men of Sodom sought to rape men, but because they sought to rape angels. There's a variety of different readings in the Bible, and it has to do with what translation you get. Infractions. Guzman. I don't know why I just capitalized the G instead of replacing it with an H, but that's how tired I am. It's 1:45. Wasn't it 1:47 a minute ago? Was it not 1:47 a hot minute ago when I was talking to you guys? Did we have another daylight saving and no one tell me? My laptop probably just glitched. Honestly. Ooh. Sorry. And this time it's the humans' faults. And that's why he destroys them. Because God promised not to blow anything up anymore or flood anyone, so he just destroyed the one town instead of everybody. Because it was just the one town. It was just the one town. Just the one town. And they went after strange flesh. Quote from the Bible. Jude strange flesh. So the sin they committed was angel-human relation, and the crime and the punishment they received was fire and burning, immolation. I feel like I'm like that scene in The Hobbit where Boffer's freaking out Bilbo with how he's gonna die by dragon, like a furnace. It'll burn you in 2 bits, till you're nothing more than a pile of ash. Then he just passes out on the floor. It's kind of me right now. I'm ready to pass out on the floor. My friends gave me cold medicine, so that was nice. Y'all should go follow me on Instagram. I post there more often than I post on here, and that's not saying a lot, but it is a way to keep updated. Broadway's Moon Fairy. It's fun. Peter gets involved now. Paul just expands it to all defiling sex. Peter expands this. I don't know if I'm using that word correctly. Depravity. I'll just use depravity. I don't know if this is actually what this paragraph is talking about, but that's what it sounds like to me. That's the impression I'm getting. That's my opinion! Me quotes a Vine at 2 a.m. Okay, here we go. Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, who is now Pope. I didn't know it would do that. I'm sorry about that. Pope Benedict XV1. That's 16? The 16th, that's not the current Pope, babe. Letter, Vatican Congregation, Doctrine of Faith, Catholic Bishop, Pastoral Care of Homosexual Persons, deplorable homosexual persons have been and are the object of violent malice in speech or in action, provide pastoral care in full accord with the teachings of the Church, symptom of the original sin, eating fruit. Like, I get it, I do, but it still freaks me out when it's like the original sin. People keep talking about the original sin. I'm like, the original sin was eating an apple, yet an apple a day keeps the doctor away? I think not. Of course, there's theories that it was a fig or pomegranate, some kind of fruit. I understand that the actual original sin was disobedience to God and breaking the holy sacraments of the one God and stuff. I was trying to think of a different name. The Holy One just sounded a little weird. I don't think I've ever heard anyone refer to God as the Holy One. Usually that's like the weird hero in stories. The Holy One. He's come to save us all, as the prophecy foretold. Or is that just Jesus? New fan theory. All fantasy stories are actually just really, really long-winded analogies for Jesus. Even Lord of the Rings. Okay, sorry, I got off track. There can be no doubt of the moral judgment made there against homosexual relations in Sodom, where the problem was angel rape. We have to treat the gays nice because the church requires it, but being gay is wrong because humans once tried to rape angels. That's not a cohesive argument, Pope, your reverentness. Not irreverentness, most reverentness. That example doesn't follow through. Different flesh, not the same flesh. That's always the thing where it's like, strange flesh is for homosexuality, but it's like, it's the same flesh? It's like, homo being the same, like, homogeneous liquid. It's the same flesh, so why would it be called strange flesh? This angel thing makes a lot more sense to me. Just, like, etymology, word-wise. With the way words work, this makes more sense to me. Because I am secretly a huge literary and English nerd. I'm changing position because I'm getting leg achy. We're gonna lean back now. And we're gonna prop this up, like, right there. Right there. Hello, Catherine. How are you? I don't know why I keep using really weird housewife names with my Maureen voice, which I picked up from Katya, but here we are. You can't see me. Hello, Maureen. You're gonna die up there, Barbara. They're coming for you, Barbara. That's Victoria. Or The Walking Dead. I think it's Night of the Living Dead, because I know The Walking Dead is a TV show and that's stupid, but like, different flesh. The Pope. Let's try Pope Benedict instead. And I'm using 16 in numerals as opposed to the Roman ones. I'm beginning to wonder if, like, the entire modern misconception for Sodom and Gomorrah comes from Pope Benedict's interpretation of it, because, like, everyone in, like, Jude and Paul seemed pretty sure of themselves talking about angels and humans, and then all of a sudden Pope Benedict was like, homosexuals, and everyone was like, yes, homosexuals. And now no one wants to talk about human angel fraternization. And it's like, did this one little misconstruing change the entire mode of the church? Like, did it? There's a term paper topic. I'm doing my term paper on the gender of divinity and how it changes people's perception of the province of gods. Like how a female goddess of war in a culture changes the culture based on the female as opposed to the male god of war, and how it affects that culture. There's a lot of comparing Egypt and Greece in this, because the women did a lot of stuff in Egypt that the men did not do in Greece. You know what I mean? Sodomy, meaning what it means today, does not appear before the 11th century, which is after everything in the Bible had been written. Everything in the Bible had been written by then. Sexuality is immoral. Hi. We keep disconnecting. It's modernly known. Wasn't used till the century. Welcome to the 20th century. Welcome, Barbara. Modern translations are confusing. Corinthians and Timothy are warped. The original Greek texts are used to see how misleading there. Malakoi and Arsikonoitai, which we've already talked about in my class, not together on here. Moonshine at Midnight. I think this is going to become another series we talk about a lot. Pornoi, Arsikonoitoi, slave traders. Sodomite does not appear. Has nothing to do with Sodom. Soft or cowardly. Man beds. Fornicators. Male prostitutes. Pornoi. Sodomite. Malakoi. Arsikonoitoi. I can't spell them, but I know what it is. Arsinokoite. It's an M. Peter Damien. Sodom's misdeeds are economic, not sexual. Because the people had become selfish and corrupt, and not because they're sexually depraved. Isaiah compared Judah to Sodom. I thought I plugged this in. I didn't, but I thought I did. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to plug this into the wall really briefly. We'll be back after these messages. I'm really tired. Wash your hands. It's flu season. Vaccinate your kids. Educate your young. Vote. Let your voice be heard. An honest conversation is more powerful than a strong argument. I'm going to get something trending just for the sake of making people start doing it. It's called a conversation. Because it's a pun, so it's funny. And if we can get it trending, people are going to want to do it for the sake of the fact that it's trending. It's where you sit down and you actually have a calm conversation with someone instead of yelling and screaming and telling them that they're wrong because their opinion is different than yours. Hear the word of the Lord, you rulers of Sodom. Listen to the teachings of our God, you people of Gomorrah. What to me is the multitude of your sacrifice, says the Lord. Wash yourselves, make yourselves clean. Remove the evil of your doings from before my eyes. Cease to do evil, learn to do good. Seek justice, rescue the oppressed, defend the orphan, plead for the widow. Isaiah. That is spell Isaiah. I need to sneeze, but it's stuck. Economic crimes. Injustice against the poor leads inexorably to divine punishment, repeated by the prophet Ezekiel. Donate. Help people. Don't mock the homeless. Help them. It's right there in the Bible. Do it. Do it. That face, I saw my own face in the camera. It was like, not cute. It's not cute. Ezekiel says the same thing about Jerusalem when the Babylonians come through. And click the start button on accident. Ezekiel, Gabriel, and Michael. I'm never getting over that. I love that now. Michael, which is impressive because my professor's name is actually Michael Sokol, but everyone calls him Mick Sokol. Mikhail Sokol. I have class with him about that tomorrow. I'll ask him tomorrow in class if that's why his nickname is Mick instead of Mike or something. Kyle. Thought. Moving on. Pride, food, ease. They refused to aid the poor and needy, and God had no choice but to punish them. Okay. This is something she underlined, so I should restate it. I don't know how to spell Isaiah's name, okay? Isaiah and Ezekiel. I have like a really fancy girl's Bible somewhere with like quizzes about like how to be a godly girl, like how to get through high school while still maintaining your morals as a Christian woman, that I got years ago. Can't find it. I went looking for it for this class and I can't find it. It's probably in my garage under like 14 books. Whenever I pack my books, I try to keep my Bibles on top, but I plugged it in. No, my laptop just died. You were plugged in. Why are you like this? She's temperamental. That's how you can tell my laptop's a woman. Burned my whole gender. Sorry, ladies. It's true, though. We can pretend like it's not, but it's true. Temperamental as tea bags. Seriously, if you steep your tea for too long, it becomes very bitter. I look like I'm pouting. After about 2 in the morning, I always look like I'm pouting. It's the eyebrows. There's nothing I can do. I either look like I'm pouting or like I'm angry, and there's no in between. Or else I'm making a weird face. I'm like secretly pouting in the depths of my soul because I'm really tired and I want to be asleep. I always want to be asleep nowadays. I'm tired constantly, and the fact that I'm sick doesn't help. You are plugged in. You have no reason to be being like this. Sorry about that. Shall we resume? Resume. This is why it takes so long to do my homework, because my laptop keeps turning on and off. Because it's temperamental. If anyone's asking why half my hair is braided and the other half isn't, because I'm too lazy to braid the other half. And that's the honest truth. Oh, don't do it. Deuteronomy. Also can't spell Deuteronomy because I'm trash. Paradigmatic. I love that word because I knew paradigm and dynamic. Paradigmatic. Gorgeous. Sodom was a paradigmatic example of the punishment that awaits those who are selfish, inhospitable, or generally disobedient. Here it comes. Nothing. I really want to sneeze. I really want to sneeze. Come on. What I would really need is to sneeze and just blood go everywhere, because I have a nosebleed that exact instant. More of the same. This is just talking about. She then details the tale of Sodom. During the night, the men of Sodom surrounded the house. God rained sulfur and fire from heaven into the cities, condemning everything to total destruction. The next day, Abraham observed the massacre, seeing the smoke of the land going up like the smoke of a furnace. I'm just like picturing Abraham like with a cup of tea looking out over a smoldering crater where two towns used to be. Like, yep, I think it's gonna rain. That's like the only visual I have in my head. Just like this old guy with a beard that like runs down the hill, just sitting there with a cup of tea, like in fine china, just chilling on like a lawn chair with like round glasses, like John Lennon. Just boom. That's all I've got. It's 2:15. I'm tired. Okay. Oh, look. A huge chunk of my paper's gone. Okay. Star of wonder, star of light, star with royal beauty bright. Key change. Westward leading, still proceeding, guide us thy perfect light. Tone deaf keychain. Get funky, get wild, get mad, be a child. I don't know. Sorry, just some of the stuff that she's saying is like a little. Did they though? Did they though? Did they though? Is this like. There's a little bit of assumption going here. There's a little filling in the gaps here. Filling in the gaps to support my argument going on here. They violated the ancient cultural customs. Please capitalize Israelites. The Levite's concubine. Who? Judges 19. Levi, one of the sons of Jacob. Oh! Is that Esau? No. Jacob. Levi. This is the guy that killed Dina's husband. Sorry, we just read the red tent for class and I broke down crying in the middle of the night. Because as usual, I was doing my homework at midnight. didn't like the sons of Jacob. That's just nasty. Ah, I'm not detailing that. Ah, ah, ah. The Bible is messed up. Ah. I mean, ah, ah, ah. Quote. Ugh. Ugh. Like, not pretty. Um. Ugh. The end of this stream is really lame because I'm getting super tired, so I'm not actually talking. All the narration is going on in my head. It's an hour and a half long, so I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna stop here. Videos will resume shortly. I've been thinking about it for a while. I just was spurred to action this evening. So this is gonna go for soon. My phone is heating up. More videos on the way. Please come through. There will be more Moonshine Midnight episodes because I have a lot of these essays to write and I have a lot of work to do. So, come join me at midnight for a wild, wild ride and some conversation because the empty gaps here could be filled with your guys' narration and my commentation. So, love you guys. See you soon. Don't forget to go out and make a difference and show everyone your moonlight.